Jim, you must be wondering how we didn't take at least a point from this game today.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's really strange emotions, to be honest, James. Of course, we're always disappointed when we lose any game, but I think to lose it in the manner that we did is sometimes acceptable in terms of the way that we tried to play. I thought the boys were excellent on the ball. I thought back to middle we were really, really comfortable, dominated possession. We must have had 65-70% of the ball this afternoon. First half in particular, we got in some great areas. Dylan Connolly was causing them problems. Ilkay Dermot was causing them problems. We were putting some really good balls in the box. I think we've had 25 or 30 crosses this afternoon. But I think probably the way the game has ended has kind of summed up the way the season has been, really, in terms of we've missed out on top six because of a couple of goals. And I think when we look back on the season, that's what we'll reflect on. We tried to do something about it in January, and it's no criticism of Lee Irwin or of John Obika or Christian Dennis. We tried to bring in more firepower in January, and obviously added Brophy and Quainer, who are two really good options. But unfortunately, the two boys have not been able to get fit. But look, it's one of those things. Jamie McGrath has obviously proven to everybody that he is human after all, and Liam Kelly in the Motherwell goal, I think, kind of double bluffed him with his movement, and unfortunately he's managed to save Jamie's one. We should have had a Stonewall penalty prior to that as well. How Crawford gets away with that handball, and how the referees don't see it. Again, I feel as if every single week I'm on criticising referees, and I'm not trying to criticise anybody. I actually thought Kevin Clancy over the whole piece had a decent game, but that's a really, really big decision, a key moment in the game, and he's got to see that. And if he can't see it, then the official on the far side needs to help him, because everybody on our bench saw it, and a couple of the members of the Motherwell staff were kind of scratching their heads as well. So listen, it's probably the best we've played in a number of weeks, if I'm being honest, and we've played poorly this season and managed to win and come away with all 3 points, and today we've played really, really well. We were the better team by a country mile, but unfortunately I'm standing here on the back of a defeat.
A few people mentioned when we didn't make top six that performances maybe petered out, but were you pleased that wasn't the case today, and you pleased with what you did see?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, look, I think you saw that last week at Hamilton. Obviously a couple of weeks prior to that, Hamilton were the team that denied us that top six spot, but it would have been very easy for the players to let their heads go down. But I know that won't happen with the dressing room that we've got, with the characters that I've got in my staff as well. We won't allow that to happen. So really good result last week against Hamilton, 3 good goals. This afternoon, okay, Motherwell had a couple of good chances of their own in the first half. One of them, not a great deal we can do about it. They get the break of the ball, and Jack Anik makes a really good block in the 50-50 with Roberts, I think it might have been. And the other opportunity they had was a decent bit of football from Motherwell, and you would probably say, yeah, they could have took one of those two, but there's nobody that knows anything about the game that can't tell me that we weren't the better team here this afternoon. Of course, the main aim of the game is to put the ball in the back of the net. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do that today, but it was certainly through no fault of effort or commitment from the players. I thought Dermot and Connolly on either side of the pitch were excellent all afternoon, and particularly Dylan. I think it's probably one of the best games he's had for us in terms of isolating them in 1v1s with the fullback and putting balls in the box. But you have these kinds of afternoons sometimes where you could be playing here till 10 o'clock at night and still not score, and unfortunately that was the case today.
Just on the injury front, John Obika had to miss the game today. Ryan Flynn had to come off just at the end of the first half. How are both of those players?
Well, Flinny firstly looks as if he's tweaked his hamstring. We won't know exactly the extent of that probably until Monday morning when everything settles down. We'll send him for a scan, and hopefully it's not too bad an issue. John Obika overstretched his groin in the Hamilton game. We would expect John to be fit and available for the weekend, but I think that's just been the story of the season as well, in terms of the lack of striking options that we've had. We've very rarely had any more than 2 available in recent months. So that's why I wanted to have 4 or 5 good options, so that we could try and get that partnership working between 2 of them. But when things aren't going well, it's always good to be able to call on another couple of individuals. But look, it is what it is. We can't continue to put the onus on the strikers all the time. Jamie McGrath's chipped in with 13 goals this season. and we need to get goals from other areas of the pitch. It's simple as that. The delivery coming in from corners and wide free kicks is excellent, so we need the boys coming up from the back to be getting on the end of things, and we could do with one or two midfielders joining in from open play as well and going and hitting some shots and working the goalkeeper a little bit more. But for me, I think overall, of course, I'm disappointed, but I'm relatively pleased in the manner that we played today.
And just in terms of next week, it's back to the Cup. How much are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, look, I mean, I said in the build-up to today's game that we've reset the targets now, and the target is 7th place, and let's go and try and get to a final. So Inverness are a really good side. I've watched them 4 times in the flesh this year. I've been through the Kirkcaldy just recently, actually watching them against Raith. They're a very good team. Neil McCann's a top coach. He wants his team to play the game, in my opinion, in the right manner as well. So hopefully that will make for a very entertaining cup tie. But of course we're favourites. We're the Premier League team and we're expected to win the game, albeit we certainly won't be underestimating the opposition.
John, thanks very much for your time.
Thanks, James.
Thanks, Gaffer.